Happy New Year and season's greetings to each and every one of you. Thank you guys so much for coming in and checking out today's video. We got some breaking news from Square Enix as it's related to their yearly New Year's letter, but also this applies to Final Fantasy XIV because Yoshi P sat down and pinned his seasonal New Year's letter as well. And both of these letters, namely the Final Fantasy XIV letter, is very important to me. It's something that I look forward to reading each and every year, and this year provides no exception to the excitement that is to be had. So there's a lot that I want to talk about. There's a lot of discussion topics that could be just found in this video alone, based off of what the CEO has said about Square Enix, but also what Yoshi P has said about Final Fantasy XIV. So guys, if you feel like the video earns it, hit that like, subscribe, and comment below. I'm really curious about your opinion, especially as it relates to blockchain entertainment, Web 3.0, AI, and the cloud. And if you guys have been following the channel for any period of time, there's two of those things that I'm actually pretty interested in, but I'm still concerned, obviously, about the blockchain label that is being touted by Square Enix for the last couple of years. But no worries for those of you who are absolutely burned out from the crypto market. Well, it doesn't seem to focus in on that this year alone. But here's a couple of highlights, because this isn't the full letter. You guys can go read the full letter for yourself. I'll include a link in the description if you want to go just kind of peruse that information. But he kicks off with a couple of things, really kind of a focusing in on AI. And he says, on the publishing side, which consists of our sales and marketing functions, we are working to enable greater global collaboration and to help promote the shift to digital by sharing information with our group on the features that are unique and different geographical markets and on the best practices for addressing them. We're bolstering our publishing capabilities globally, and we will see this as an effective means not only to maximize our sales of new titles, but also to deliver our rich back catalog to more customers and in turn to expand on the fan base for our group's intellectual properties, IPs in this case. So they're going to leverage two things that I want to point this out. They're going to leverage first AI to help on their marketing functions, and secondly, to help promote the shift to digital. We've seen this has been discussed within gaming. I know people usually ask me about this, but I shifted to digital back in the Xbox One PS4 era, and the only time that bit me was actually from the PS4 to the PS5 era, because they didn't necessarily respect the digital downloads that had been purchased, where in this case Xbox, Microsoft has been more than happy to allow for cross-generational gameplay on their system. But we do know the shift to digital is going to take a stronger route over the course of the next 5 years, leading up to the next console generation, which is rumored to be all digital. So from a marketing perspective, this could have an impact on sales. This could be really impactful to Square Enix's bottom line, and we know that it's really impactful for new IP. So it's not all sunshine and rainbows here. What we're looking at is that there's going to have to be new strategies in order for people to be willing to purchase and download a game, whether that ends up leaning into blockchain in terms of being able to resell your digital goods. In this case, like I'm applying the idea of your purchase of the game, your license to play the game. If you were able to resell that, then I think that would end up being an interesting feature to see the least. But because when you purchase the game, unless you're able to get a refund on it, which most cases don't allow after a certain amount of playtime, or if your game ends up being a huge scam like the day before, that ends up being something that kind of evens itself out. So I'm curious to see if they're going to lean into that. That's the only use case that I could think of for blockchain within gaming, because play to earn just does not make sense. And I think we're all fatigued of it. And we're seeing that with the decline of the live service market over 2023. Now, we'll see if it rebounds in 2024, and we'll be sure to cover all of that here for you. Anyway, he goes on to talk a little bit more things, but he puts this out, and this is something interesting to me as a developer myself. We also intend to be aggressive in applying AI and other cutting-edge technologies to both our content development and our publishing functions. In the short term, our goal will be to enhance our development productivity and achieve greater sophistication in our marketing efforts. In the longer term, we hope to leverage those technologies to create new forms of content for consumers, as we believe that technological innovation represents business opportunities. And this is something that I've talked with other game devs about. And if you guys haven't actually seen, I've actually started working on my own game. We are in pre-production right now. I've partnered up with the development studio. There'll be a bigger update as a part of my New Year's update coming to the channel later this week or next, depending on how big of an update that video ends up being. But when it comes down to it, talking with David Jaffe and other game developers, the AI concept does seem like there is a potential opportunity of a win here for everybody, where we're starting to see things like Light No Fire being run by a 12-man team. We could theoretically see gaming kind of return to these smaller teams that are then supported with AI. And the first tragedy of all of this, I think, is game testers. The long-term effects of that, I can only speculate, but one of the things that a lot of people get into game testing for is to get into game development. And if they do consume that industry completely, it's going to have a new roadmap for getting gamers and game makers in kind of into the wheelhouse, because at some point someone's going to want to retire, right? Yoshi P will eventually want to retire, kick back, relax, and enjoy the fruits of his labors. At least that's the hope. Japan has an interesting cultural phenomenon where they do work themselves to death, and I hope that isn't the case for him or really anybody over there, but we'll have to unfortunately wait to see. That's a time will tell kind of approach based off of what Yoshi P stated multiple times as Final Fantasy XIV as his life's work, for example. But the letter goes on to continue. In terms of new business domains, we previously identified 3 focused investment fields, namely blockchain, entertainment, Web 3.0, AI, and the cloud. Last year, we redefined our overarching mission and goals for these 3 fields, and we're currently working to modify our organizational structure to optimize our resource allocations to support these efforts. So on this note, I think AI and the cloud make the most sense. Obviously, you probably hear my interest in AI as a tool to help relieve some of the bloat that we have with game development. Namely, if you guys just want to be educated on it, having a bigger team means that there's so much more management that has to happen. And so just bigger teams don't necessarily mean better games. They end up sometimes meaning a lot of bloat, a lot of risk, and then companies do whatever they can to mitigate that risk. So if we see a return to smaller, more agile development teams to really focus in on honing and making a game, well, I think that's a big win. Then applying it to how do you get digital marketing, I do wonder with their recent announcement for the Xbox and Final Fantasy XIV, if we'll see Square Enix embrace a Game Pass style model for them as a company, or if they will partner and sell their content to both, Sony or Xbox or both. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, they have a quite an extensive library of games, and there's a value in that being able to have that as a part of a subscription service. Now, obviously, Final Fantasy XIV and Final Fantasy XI, and even I think Dragon Quest X are all subscription service-based games. So I still wonder if Square Enix would embrace a Square Enix subscription model, but the previous CEO continued to shoot that down. Current CEO, maybe that means something one way or the other, but I'll be sure to guys let you know. Now, the cloud also is very interesting to me. We've seen Square Enix with Final Fantasy XIV start to embrace the cloud. Last year, we saw Octopath Traveler 1 and 2 embrace the cloud and now are playable on GeForce Now. And I hope that we'll see more games make their way to that platform, that service, especially something like Forspoken. I know Forspoken running it on a PC was wonderful, but it didn't run on GeForce Now, and that seems strange. And as somebody who has a decent PC, that wasn't an issue, but it seems like a perfect pairing, especially when you have a game that's as intense as Forspoken. And it's really glad to see a lot of people coming around being on the positive track for Forspoken once more. The cloud, I hope, also means, again, GeForce Now. I'd love to see Final Fantasy XIV on that service. I think that would be a really great win for the game and for the community, thus saving you all kinds of storage space and opening it up to be playable on a Logitech G Cloud. That's where I do most of my gaming nowadays because it is just that wonderful. But We said that we're going to talk about Final Fantasy 14 a little bit more. Yoshi P pinned his letter. He has lots of little bits for us, and I'm going to cover it here for you guys today. Obviously, Final Fantasy 14's team has been flat out just getting things ready for Fan Festival 2024 in Tokyo. Fast asleep or wide awake, the words Fan Festival and 7.0 have taken up constant residence in our thoughts, to which he laughs. He also goes on to talk about, with the 10th anniversary of Final Fantasy XIV's rebirth behind them, they are looking at taking the first determined steps towards the next 10 years of service. We've been accompanying this epic journey by the Warriors of Light from across the globe, and we intend to maintain that partnership by placing an even greater value on communication as we expand the world of Final Fantasy XIV. This next step is a big one, full of brand new challenges, and I'm personally excited to see everyone's experience what we have in store for the coming year. And then this year also includes a journal, a little journal entry, a tease of the year to come. I awake at the break of dawn, as I always do, turning to scan the western seas, and I contemplate the journey ahead. Will it seem a homecoming or a new beginning? Time will tell. That as salt winds whisper to me of things unknown. I think this is a nice thing. I always appreciate Yoshi P and his time and effort spent on these type of updates. But that's pretty much going to be it for me. I've given you guys my yearly update as it related to my weight. I lost over 50 pounds in 2023. Hope to do that again here in 2024 and get down below the 210 mark, which would then facilitate me hitting my goal, being able to step back into Dawn Trail. I don't know if that's going to happen by the time it releases, but you guys can stick around and hang out if you enjoy videos and game content. I hope you guys look forward to my New Year's update. That's going to be coming soon. And also, thank you guys so much for those of you who follow me over on Instagram. We've been doing a lot of really fun things in the comedy space, and I've been able to post lots of different reels over there. And if you guys check the links in the description, you can go follow me over there too. It'd be a huge help. Almost to 300. I'm really really looking forward to hitting that, and then hopefully we'll put some cool goals together. And also we're coming up on, we've still got a little ways to go, but 100,000 subscribers here. Making progress as well. Anyway, guys, again, Happy New Year. Thank you so much for being here. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and hopefully I'll see you next time. But until then, take care.